Hello, welcome, please come in. It's time for the start of a new series, and that means it is back into the world of Pokémon. And this time we will be beating an assortment of Pokémon games using only ghost types, and that starts here in Pokémon Platinum. Now normally I'd like to go through a game that is pre-Gen 4 so I can see how the type handles prior to the physical special split, but that's not super feasible for ghost types. Much like the ice type, ghosts are generally mid to late game types, and they are also really uncommon, being one of the least common types in the game. And even in Platinum, I'm going to need to get a bit creative early on, because I can't access any ghost types for a little bit. Now, my preferred method for handling this would be to change the starter option so that I can just start the game with the earliest ghost type available to me. That's not gonna work here. I use rare candies for leveling, and as such, rely on a level cap system to stop me from over-leveling, because the alternative is just over-leveling all my problems. And there are two ghost types that become available right about the same time, and those are Drifloon and Ghastly. And these Pokemon are both awful, for slightly different reasons. Ghastly is a very fast special attacker, even for a first stage Pokemon, with pretty low stats on everything else. Ghastly could be very dangerous, with some very good special attacking moves, which makes its move pool especially baffling. The first special attacking move Ghastly learns is actually Shadow Ball, at level 29, which is 5 levels after it would normally evolve into Haunter. Yeah, Ghastly's move pool is a disaster. Anyway, Drifloon is better, but still bad. It's a flying type, which makes it weak to the attacks of the first gym leader. I'm reasonably confident that even combined, this team could not beat the early game at all. So, as has been flying past on the screen, I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm just going to reach these Pokemon normally. I've chosen Chimchar as my starter because then my rival will have Piplup. The rival in Gen 4 is pretty easy regardless of what starter I'd pick, but I figure Empoleon is probably the hardest to face with Ghosts, and Steel resisted Ghost type moves in Gen 4. We'll see if that actually ends up making a difference. Anyway, Commander Mars has been beaten at the Valley Windworks. That unlocks my first Ghost Pokemon, Drifloon, who is, as I said, not great, but it is the best I can get so far. Secondary flying type is nice offensively, and it is kind of bulky, but not as bulky as I'd prefer. It also evolves pretty late, so we won't see Drifblim for a while. North of Valley Windworks, and it's into Eterna Forest, and just in time to get taken out by the first double battle. This is not a good time to have just a flying type. Okay, now let's just catch a Ghastly. As I said earlier, Ghastly's move pool is bad, and I don't have any TMs to fix it. But it is a second Pokemon. Now I can clear a single trainer battle. How exciting. This is also where I finally remembered to change the battle style to set, so that's nice. And through the forest, it's into Eterna City where my first proper gym fight is. And thankfully, this is a grass type gym. So my Pokemon may not be good, but at least I have flying type coverage. I still have to run back to the Pokemon Center after every single trainer battle, but still. Okay, it is Gardenia time, and that means it's leveling up time. The cap for Gardenia is 22, which is pretty good. I lead with Drifloon because it's my only decent Pokemon, and then spam Stockpile. It's not a perfect move, but it does boost my defenses by 1 stage each time, and I can easily take down Turtwig. Then in comes Cherim, who has a boost from the sun and can use Leech Seed, which is not good. Ghastly, go ahead and use Confuse Ray and then just spam Sucker Punch, I guess? Wow, I'm getting so lucky with confusion hits. Surely that luck won't turn around to bite me. Roserade is in, and Drifloon is going to need to solo this fight, and those numbers don't look winnable, especially with Roserade having a berry. Yeah, that's what I figured. What is my plan here? I already got really lucky in that first attempt. Maybe just giving my Pokemon berries will help, especially since Drifloon has Unburden to boost its speed once it uses its held item. I think I'm also going to combine Stockpile boosting with Minimize. It's not an honorable way to win this fight, but both my Pokemon suck, so anyway. I get through both of Gardenia's Pokemon with minimal effort, and we're back to the Roserade, except my defenses are at +3, and I minimized several times. The paralysis isn't ideal, but ultimately the setup is exactly what I needed. Sorry, Gardenia, that wasn't really a fair fight, but I also didn't have any other plans. And that is 2 gyms down. Thank you for the cut HM, Cynthia. I already have Rock Smash, so I need to get to Bidoof to serve as my HM Pokemon. Then it's into Galactic HQ. Here, to face down another tricky fight, Jupiter. Stockpile to boost defense, and then fail to take down Zubat. And then Skuntank is even worse. That could be a problem. Let's try this again, but do more setup. Okay, that did not work at all. It really is a shame that I don't have a single useful TM here. Maybe lead with Ghastly? Confusion and Nightshade were enough to take out Zubat? And then even more luck nearly takes down Skuntank. And then Drifloon goes down. Alright, was not expecting this to be the most difficult fight in the game. Let's see how Curse... Nope, did not work at all. Okay, eventually I managed to get lucky enough to take no damage against Zubat, set up Curse, and that kills Skuntank. That took a lot of tries, but it was still a win, and I will take it. Let's grab a bicycle and leave this awful town full of awful trainers. And that means heading back into Eterna Forest and cutting my way north. In the old chateau, an optional area, there is a haunted television set. And, in Platinum, this lets me grab Rotom right away. In Diamond and Pearl, you need to get the national dex for this fight, but not here. Rotom is an electric ghost Pokemon that has a variety of forms. Those forms don't have different types, at least not in Gen 4, but they should be quite useful. Unlocking those other forms is a bit more complicated though. There is a door in the Galactic HQ, but opening it requires a limited run event item that I obviously cannot acquire legitimately anymore. So anyway, I've opened the path with the secret key and can now change Rotom's forms. Ask no questions. And I will be making Rotom the Washer form. This gives Rotom Hydro Pump, which is very strong and good coverage I won't otherwise get. Now I can actually make progress by biking south from Eterna City. Then I stop Ghastly from evolving so he can learn Shadow Ball earlier, and it's into Mount Coronet to deal with Grumpy Face. Route 208 has nothing other than some trainer battles, and we arrive in Hearthome. Drifloon is cute enough to hang out at the park, and there's some decent TMs here. There is also a Spooky Plate, which boosts ghost damage, which might be useful. Then successfully navigate the gym challenge on my first attempt, for real this time, and it's time to face down Fantina. I still don't have any good moves on Ghastly, but we'll see how this goes. I lead with Rotom to take out Duskull and then get one-shot by Mismagius. Drifloon lives an attack from Mismagius and one-shots back with Payback. Unfortunately, it's then Ghastly against Haunter and... Alright, I have Sucker Punch. Okay, that should have been more difficult, but I will take it. Okay, then comes another berry fight. I lead Rotom, again because it's very strong. Shockwave can also one-shot his first two Pokemon. Roselia is less ideal, but at least Rotom isn't Water-type in this game. Okay, this is not working at all. Ooh, that's a convenient critical hit. Okay, all that's left is Ponyta. Let's go into Ghastly to set up Curse. Probably overly cautious, but I don't want to waste all this luck. And yep, Ghastly wins with Nightshade. So it was indeed quite easy. And now it's time to catch another Pokemon to pad out my ranks. Duskull, who will eventually become a pretty bulky Pokemon. Dark-type moves may be too common for bulk to mean much, but if nothing else, it's a fourth Pokemon. And actually, we can also grab a fifth Pokemon. In Eterna City, I grab the Explorer Kit, which lets me explore the underground. Then, by talking to 32 people there, I can place the odd keystone to unlock Spiritomb. And I definitely did that super tedious process instead of just modifying a Pokemon into a Spiritomb and calling it a day. I promise. Moving on. And with that super tedious process done, it's time to bike over to my next destination. The encounter hits in this game are really rough. I need to remember to buy repels at the next Pokemart because wow, these suck. Anyway, next destination is Veilstone City, which has a department store. And that means it's time to play the game of, are any of these TMs useful? The answer is probably no, although Focus Blast could be useful. Special attacking fighting type move isn't terrible to have. Could give me some decent coverage against dark types. Next gym on the list is the Fighting Gym, which should be pretty easy because my entire team is immune to fighting type moves. On the other hand, say hello to this random gym trainer who nearly swept my entire team with a single Croagunk. How, you ask? Well, Feint Attack is a pretty decent dark-type move, but I think the actual culprit is me, hitting myself in confusion 8 times in a row. 8 whole times, which should be pretty unlikely. And here I am, hitting myself in confusion 8 times. Anyway, the rest of the gym goes great. While leveling up for the gym, Drifloon finally evolves into Drifblim, which is incredible. Ghastly finally learns a special attacking move, so I can now evolve it into Haunter. So now I should be ready to take this gym down. I lead with Drifblim to set up 3 stockpiles. This gives my bulkiest Pokemon plus 3 defense and special defense. Drifblim can then just use Ominous Wind through most of the gym, helped by an Omni Boost. I do have to switch to Gust on Lucario, but at plus 1 special attack and neutral damage, Drifblim can still win the fight. So yeah, pretty easy gym fight, as expected, minus a single lucky Croagunk. Then, over to Galactic Hideout to get Fly. I will be teaching this to Drifblim immediately, both because it is a pretty good flying move and it unlocks fast travel. Next, it's time for a very boring beach episode, which leads into another berry fight. Rotom, by itself, takes out Barry's first 2 Pokemon. Spiritomb can then come in and wreck his last 2 Pokemon, because, yeah, Barry is not a very good trainer. in the next gym, which is water-themed, and I have a Rotom with Shockwave. So, the trainers leading up to Wake do not live very long. Ooh, nasty plot on Spiritomb? That could be useful. And Will-O-Wisp on Duskull, also nice. And I have evolved into Dusclops. Love it. Ooh, Baton Pass Drifblim. I'm getting so many ideas. Gym time! I lead with Rotom, because, obviously, Shockwave one-shots Gyarados, which is great. Floatzel has Crunch. That's not good. Okay, into Dusclops, who misses a Will-O-Wisp, because of course it does. Then Wake heals, so this could be going better. Drifblim, could you do something? Okay, better than that, please. Haunter? No. Spiritomb. Okay, Hypnosis hits, so it's into Dream Eater. Let's actually do one nasty plot for added damage, then put Floatzel back to sleep and Dream Eater. Out comes Quagsire, who also gets the Hypnosis Dream Eater combo. Spiritomb isn't that strong, actually, but the combo of Dream Eater and not being weak to Dark is really good. Then it's time for a very long chase sequence of this single Galactic goon. Seriously, I'm on a bicycle. How do I keep managing to lose pace with this random dude? Finally catching him, it's time to head north. Oh yeah, Defog. That's probably fine. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, I missed Dream Eater 3 times in a row? What is my luck this run? Okay, I've reached the next town and it's time for the first Cyrus fight, which starts off bad with an immediate freeze. But then Spiritomb thaws immediately because freeze. Spiritomb still drops, but then I send in Rotom to finish off the Sneasel, then the Murkrow. Golbat is a bit more obnoxious, but not that much more obnoxious. Okay, first Cyrus fight, and that went fine. Oh, I should make a quick detour to grab the Thunderbolt TM, mostly because Haunter can use it, and Gengar is a fast special attacker. So, more coverage moves should be very useful. And Giga Drain. The healing probably won't do anything because Gengar is pretty frail, but that is more coverage. Okay, detours aside, it's time to head through Route 218 to reach Canalave City. For another berry fight. I lead with Drifblim to set up Stockpile, which I can then Baton Pass to Rotom. And all Staravia did was set up double teams, which do nothing to stop Shockwave. Those defensive boosts means Rotom can then solo the rest of Barry's team. Like I said, Barry is not a very good trainer. Anyway, it's over to Iron Island to pick up the Strength HM, then back to start making my way through the Steel Gym. And this gym could be a problem. I don't really have any good coverage, and Steel resists Ghost-type moves in this generation. So while my Pokemon are strong, I'm concerned the type matchup is going to be a problem. But let's pop into the Byron fight and find out, right after we spend some rare candies. And speaking of which, it's about time I did the trade to evolve Haunter into Gengar. That extra speed and special attack should be very useful. Into the fight, where I learn that Natural Gift consumes the berry in question, making it useless, so I will need a different strategy. Good news is that while Steel has many resistances, Water is not one of them. So, after Gengar goes down, Rotom can just spam Hydro Pump. And now we replace Natural Gift on Gengar with Focus Blast. The accuracy isn't great, but the damage and typing are excellent. And now it's time to pop by some of the boring lakes to deal with some Team Galactic nonsense. Specifically Admin Saturn, whose only accomplishment is getting a lucky flinch to take out Drifblim before Gengar solos his entire team. Then it's over to a different lake. I could look up their names, but it's not worth doing. Mars's team is almost identical to Saturn's for some reason. Just switch out Pokemon for a Perugly, who is, to be fair, much scarier, mostly because it seemingly cannot miss a sleep move. But Spiritomb wins the Sleep War, and that's 2 admins down. Through Mount Coronet and reach Route 216, the Snow Route. In theory, there is a new Pokemon here I'll want to catch, but they don't show up until night, so I'll pick that up later. For now, I just need to navigate the area, beat up some trainers, and arrive in Snowpoint City for the next gym. So, beat up some more trainers, slide around the floor, because I don't remember the easiest way to solve this puzzle, and that's fine. And then level up to face down Candace. During which I learn no good moves, which is a bummer, but not too bad. Ooh, Sneasel is gonna be a problem. Gengar might actually be faster. Huh, it sure is. And Focus Blast does one-shot. And Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast again. Sadly, the third Focus Blast misses. On the other hand, Abomasnow doesn't have any good attacks. Okay, so I may have overthought that fight. Gengar was in fact able to solo the entire gym. Alright, time to find some hidden items while I wait for nightfall. And no, I do not know how to properly use the dowsing app on my watch. What makes you think that? Is it that I'm obviously using it wrong? Well, it should be. Let's skip ahead, shall we? There we go, there's the Dawnstone I was looking for. I will need that in a little bit. But for now I can use Rock Climb to head up to the third and final lake, where Barry has demonstrated again that he's bad at everything. But I must accomplish things, which means breaking into Galactic headquarters, but properly this time. And wow, are there a lot of Galactic runs here with even more mediocre Pokemon. Hello, Cyrus, are you going to be disappointing? I probably should have just led with Gengar. Yep. Oh, Sneasel is faster. Good thing Ice Punch is not very strong. Darn, Thunderbolt was not enough for Honchkrow. Oh well, I do still have Rotom with Shockwave, and yep, that was a flinch. Okay then, Spiritomb has no weaknesses, surely you can... Okay, Hypnosis into Dream Eater, and we win. That was closer than it should have been, but not too bad. I should rest up though, because I then have to face down another admin! Someday this baton pass strategy is going to work again. Anyway, Gengar nearly took out the entire team before Spiritomb came in to finish off Toxicroak with Dream Eater. And it's now been long enough, I can hop back to Snow Point to get some encounters, and there we go! A female Snorunt. Quick capture that, then use the Dawnstone I grabbed earlier, and huzzah! The final member of the team, Frostlass. Oh, I can also trade Dusclops with the Reaper Cloth I grabbed at one of the lakes to get Dusknoir, so now my team is fully evolved. Okay, now I need to wrap up Team Galactic nonsense, which means climbing up all the way through Mount Coronet, dealing with Galactic nonsense as I go, and that continues with a duo fight with Barry, who starts every battle with a Munchlax for some reason. These are Steel types, but sure. At least Rotom has Hydro Pump. Oh, that Skuntank is gonna be a problem. This fight is just a mess, but is made easier by prioritizing one side of the fight entirely. That way the fight quickly turns into a 2v1, and that is much easier to win. Burning with Will-O-Wisp also helps. Then it's the Distortion world, which is annoying and stupid, and that leads into Cyrus. And wow, I do not like how much time is left in this recording section. Those numbers do not suggest anything favorable, and there are exactly 2 fights between me and the end of this recording. And the first is Cyrus, and Cyrus is a problem. Cyrus doesn't technically have a type specialization, but he might as well given the number of Dark-type Pokemon he uses, and my entire team has been established are Ghosts, and therefore weak to Dark-type moves. And every single one of them is a problem. I did forget to level up before my first attempt. The next gym has a level cap of 50, so I should be able to go up to 48 without breaking the challenge, though we'll see. And first problem is Houndoom, pretty fast special attacker, then Honchkrow, who is both strong and durable. I have electric moves on Gengar and Rotom, but neither are the strongest. Then comes the biggest problem, Weavile. Ice Dark is 4 times weak to fighting, which doesn't matter when Weavile is as fast and as damaging as it is. Gengar can pretty easily break through the Houndoom and Focus Blast, when it doesn't miss, but Honchkrow is just slightly too durable and can one-shot. Then Weavile, who can solo the rest of my team. Spiritomb can do decent damage and isn't weak to Dark-type damage, but Spiritomb's move pool is really bad, especially against Dark types. Once I break through Cyrus's 3 Dark types, things are better, but still bad. Usually because I've lost most of my good offenses, and I'm already down 1 Pokemon because I had to bring up a barrel for HM usage. Okay, let's try teaching Rotom Reflect and Light Screen. These reduce physical and special damage respectively and might help? The timing on Reflect wearing off is just not quite what I need it to be. Let's see then. Okay, that went better, and Focus Blast missed. So close. I think that might be a path to victory, but it isn't great. Let me try switching directly into Rotom. Previously, I've pivoted through a different Pokemon, but I actually want Rotom to die quicker, so Reflect blasts more into Gengar being in the field. Okay, Focus Blast, are you not able to hit this stupid Weavile? 3 misses in a row? And the Honchkrow just loves to crit Rotom. Finally. Okay, that is the Dark types down, and I have more Pokemon left. Into Spiritomb, who dies, because of course it does. Then into Drifblim to do nothing useful. Okay, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Oof, Crobat may not be Dark type, but it sure is a beast. Maybe Gengar can just take out Honchkrow and Houndoom? It is a range on Honchkrow, though. Then pivot through Spiritomb to miss and die to a one-shot. Dusknoir, please burn this stupid Crobat to the ground. Close, but not quite. At least burn reduces damage, but finally, Crobat drops and my last Pokemon is critically wounded Gengar, who is faster than Gyarados and has Thunderbolt. Okay, Cyrus is once again a pain in my butt. No, Giratina, you will not be coming with me. I know you're a Ghost type, but using legendary Pokemon in these runs feels kinda cheap. And despite how that last fight went, I'm not feeling that desperate. Hopefully I won't come to regret that decision. And it's over to Sunyshore, where I can add Frostlass to the team, convince Volkner to do his job, and it's into the gym. And I am a bit concerned here. Don't get me wrong, Electric and Ghost don't really interact, but I also don't have any ground coverage, and I know at least Volkner's Luxray has dark coverage. Okay, level cap is 50, let's go! I lead with Dusknoir to inflict burn. I don't like how many charge beams this Jolteon is getting off though. It's not what I want. Anyway, then switch into Rotom to set up Light Screen. I did forget electric types can get paralyzed in this gen. This isn't actually going very good. Let's Baton Pass one stockpile to Spiritomb and then set up Nasty Plot while the Luxray is asleep. Then it's just Hypnosis Dream Eater. Hypnosis isn't super accurate, and Paralysis is a pain, but no weaknesses, decent bulk, and self-healing combined with +6 special is enough for Spiritomb to take out the rest of Volkner's Pokemon. Okay, that gym can be a pain. Good to see that it was not. Really at all. Nice. Then it's into Victory Road, which I'm not really going to talk about because it's not interesting, just tedious, which Victory Road normally is. And after a lot of nonsense, and a lot of items I do not care about, here we are at the Elite Four, and it's time for the final berry fight. Thunderbolt, then Focus Blast. Okay, Gengar is down, let's send in Frostlass. Rapidash. How about Dusknoir? No. Rotom, please use Hydro Pump. Thank you. Then how about Discharge? Then Frostlass, yeah. Blizzard. I may not have taken this fight as seriously as I should. Snorlax is pretty beefy. On the other hand, it likes to use Rest to heal itself against a Dream-Eating Spiritomb. So, wow, Barry, you're really bad at this, actually. Anyway, that is the last trainer before the Elite Four, so now it's time to stock up on healing items that I will desperately need. And it's time to look through my TMs and make some final decisions. A lot of these are not teachable to anyone, which is a bummer, but not too bad. Ooh, Drifblim can learn Charge Beam? That could be really good for Baton Pass, actually. I should do that. I think the rest of these are not useful, though. First Elite Four member is Aaron, a Bug-type specialist with a level cap of 53. Not bad, I don't really have any good moves against Bug types, which is impressive given how many weaknesses they have. But let's see how this goes anyway. I'm leading with Drifblim, and of course, Yanmega uses Evasion strats. Charge Beam is already not 100% accurate. Okay, Rotom, I dropped Shockwave for Discharge, but surely you can hit one of these. I'm resetting. Second try, same strategy, hope my luck sucks less. And it does. Once Yanmega drops... Oh, I shouldn't have tried for one more Charge Beam. Okay, Hypnosis, I'm gonna need you to hit. Spiritomb also goes down. Gengar? Focus Blast may be neutral, but it's pretty strong. Finish with Shadow Ball? Gengar survived Iron Head to finish Scizor, and then comes Heracross. I kind of thought Thunderbolt would deal more damage. Rotom is now also down. Frostlass, I'm gonna need you to hit a Blizzard? Okay, Dusknoir, could you not suck today? Fantastic, you're not gonna beat Vespiquen. Aaron is a problem. That's a new one. Let's try this again. Same strategy with Charge Beam, but this time let's not get as greedy and Baton Pass turn 1. No. Reset. Okay, there we go. Gengar, can you kill Aaron's entire team? Kinda thought a +2 that would be a one-shot, but oh well. Focus Blast is best damage, but it can miss. How's Thunderbolt? I don't think Focus Blast would have killed either. Bummer. Rotom, finish it off and set up Reflect, then die to a crit. And the full restore. Good thing Heracross is 4 times weak to fly. Vespiquen is the only Pokemon left, and good news, it's weak to electric. It can also buff its defenses and heal. This is gonna be a slow fight. I don't think I can lose at this point, but it's so tedious. Okay, thank you for the critical hit, Dusknoir. You managed to not suck for once. Up next is Bertha with a level cap of 55. I can also save revives by using rare candies because that revives Pokemon, which is funny. Bertha is a ground specialist, and I actually have things for that. And I'm just gonna lead Gengar. Gengar is strong, fast, and has Giga Drain. Gengar is also immune to ground-type moves thanks to Levitate. This goes well until it doesn't. Rhyperior is no joke. At least Frostlass is here. Oh, I should set up Hail as well so Blizzard becomes 100% accurate. And I can negate Sandstorm. Okay, that was way easier. Is Aaron gonna be the hardest Elite Four member? Maybe. Next up is Flint with a level cap of 57. And a Fire Specialist, which I mostly don't care about. I don't have a ton of anti-fire coverage, but I do have a lot of neutral hits. I will lead with Gengar. Focus Blast was good enough for Cyrus. It will be good enough for you. Especially with a lucky crit on Flareon. Then Rapidash takes itself out. Okay, that's as far as Gengar goes, which is fair. Goodbye, Infernape. Would have preferred if you didn't have Flare Blitz, but oh well. No, me, you can't burn a fire type. Nice try, though. Why does Magmortar have Thunderbolt? Okay, go to sleep. I eat you. Okay, I don't eat you. This may take a few attempts. No lucky crit on the second attempt, but otherwise the fight goes exactly the same. But this time Drifblim takes out Infernape to save Rotom for Magmortar. And for safety, we Light Screen to reduce special attack damage. And then 2 Hydro Pumps win the fight. Okay, that was much better on the second attempt. Still not perfect, but it'll do. Final Elite Four member is Lucian, who is a Psychic-type specialist. This better be easy. If not, I am concerned. I lead with Drifblim. As usual, I'd like to set up Charge Beam and then Baton Pass. 2 is the best I'm gonna get, but into Gengar, 2 might be enough. And I was correct, 2 was indeed very much enough. It helped that Lucian's fastest Pokemon, Alakazam, is not his ace. Otherwise, Gengar probably would have gotten one-shot, but because Gengar is higher level, it is faster, and I one-shot Lucian's entire team. And that means all that's left is Cynthia, and I am worried. Cynthia is one of the strongest champions in Pokemon, and her Weavile in particular is going to be very scary. Fast, strong, and a dark type? I don't really have a plan to deal with that, but we're just gonna hope that this works. Cynthia always leads with Spiritomb, which is scary for dark coverage, but also good because it's not that strong. Oof, okay, I at least got to Baton Pass +1 into Gengar, who can then take out Spiritomb. Next up is Milotic, who heals me a lot thanks to a critical Giga Drain. Nice. Lucario is weak to Focus Blast and also drops, and then Roserade comes out. I don't really have anything for this, but Extra Sensory was not enough to finish Gengar off, so Gengar wins that fight. Then in comes Garchomp, Cynthia's scariest Pokemon. Shadow Ball deals pretty good damage, but that is the end of Gengar. Garchomp crits on Dusknoir, who lives with 1 HP and gets the burn. Cynthia heals with a full restore, but Ice Shard dealt half damage and is a priority move. And Cynthia only has 1 Pokemon left, her Togekiss. Wait, why did I think Cynthia had a Weavile? She's never had a Weavile. Oh, I'm so good. Frostlass goes down, but I can hop into Rotom. Light Screen is probably overkill, but I don't want to risk this fight going sideways. I will play it safe. And yeah, 2 discharges wins the fight handily. Cynthia was shockingly easy. Nice. And that was Pokémon Platinum beaten with only Ghost types, other than the very early game. And that was pretty interesting. Ghost is a type I don't regularly use, since good Ghost types are usually available pretty late, and evolve even later, but they did pretty well here. Other than the sheer number of Dark-type moves in this, and, spoiler, all Pokémon games. But I will have more to say about that in the summary video, out in a few weeks. I did want to shout out that I do have a Patreon, linked in the description. I spend a lot of time making these videos, so if you enjoyed the video, want to support the channel, and are financially stable enough to do so, that exists. No pressure though, this channel is free to enjoy for everyone, and will remain that way. For now, if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you'd like to see more of this, feel free to subscribe. Hey, maybe leave a comment if you have something you'd like to say. But whatever you decide to do, have a safe trip home.